Yeah.
Because what's happening is they're testing on Wednesday, then they're going a week and testing again. In that week, you find an asymptomatic person coming in and they spread it around. This way, if they do it every other day, they're going to catch it like real quick.
Catch it sooner. Yeah.
Gotta figure.
Once they get an outbreak, I thought they were told to go to twice a week testing, but
Count status. But when they're testing, you got to figure it takes 3 to 5 days to get test results back. So they're going a long time between testing, and
yes.
well, because you don't know to get the test back. Temperature doesn't tell you everything, and so we had a good conversation about that and a few other things we spoke about. But not. We talked about visitation a little bit, and told her about doing any outdoor, indoor visitation here at all. And we talked about me going outside, and she asked me some other. She was in here for a little while, and I think they're back today. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Hey. So, Bruce, were you talking about meeting with somebody from the state, or was it an ombudsman?
The state lady was here yesterday talking to me.
Oh, that's fabulous. Even better.
We're talking about, we're talking about testing and visitation and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's about it. I mean, nothing's really going to change, even if you talk to them. I mean, the only thing I said is they should do more frequent testing, and I don't know what she's going to do with it. These, I don't think that really the virus should have been in here at all.
Well, I think we all agree with you, but
yeah,
my biggest gripe is if you go to the next one, you got infected day by day.
So would you guys like to meet Lynn?
Sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm putting one of my earbuds in his ear. Hold on. I'm trying at least. I'm still chasing my tail from getting home. So Lynn, this is everybody that's helping me try to fight the states. That's Peggy.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
Hey, Bruce, where are you? Do you have your camera on?
Yeah. So I'm in space.
There he is. So there's Bruce. He lives in a SNF up in Chicago.
In space.
And he's fighting it just as much as we are. Okay. See, I told you I'm not the only one doing this.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So. Okay. So. Hello. So, guys, I bet we're a week or two before we get anyone at a state level to do much for us.
Yeah.
Elections going on.
Yeah, well, exactly. Especially until the election's settled, and then.
Yeah.
The only good thing is Terry Bryant is will now be a state senator, not just from the House. So she will carry more weight.
Yep.
And that helps because we know that her and Charlie are two of our bigger supporters.
Yeah, I did send an email to Mike Murphy and just told him the names, of people that you guys had mentioned that were on it too. So maybe they could, if they run into each other, could at least sort of start a conversation. So we get maybe a little bit along the way before we can actually start making progress there.
Yeah. Emily emailed me while I was in Phoenix. I don't know if she's on here or not.
No, she said she couldn't.
Okay. That's fine. So she emailed me and had me share some very specific stuff for another senator. So I did do that. That's the only thing I accomplished while I was in Phoenix, but I did get that done. Took me 2 attempts, but I got it to her. So, okay, guys, I hate to cut you short, but the doctor's ready and he needs shots in his eyes again.
Bye. Good luck.
Okay. I'll check with you, Peggy, when I'm done.
All right. Bye.
I had asked, or I had conversation a few times with the COO of the facility that my mom and mother-in-law are at, and he had said he was going to try to join, but I don't see him. I don't see his number up there. But is anybody else really in conversation with their facility administration very much? Or I feel like we have the same goals. If we could.
A lot of people won't ever join this. I asked the lady yesterday I gave her the name of us. So I don't know if she can ever come on, but I told her who we were, the state lady. So I don't know if she'll ever join up.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with me. I've talked to the director of my mom's facility and, and the workers too. I think they're kind of, I guess, afraid to speak
Yeah.
up. I really think so. So
Now, my facility director, I can't get even a conversation with her. She won't answer emails or phone calls or anything. But this guy is like their corporate lead, and he seems to be a little bit braver about just listening even. And I certainly appreciate that. But I don't know. I do feel like I think the workers, like the nurse at the floor and they're frustrated. I mean, they hate the situation too, because they're watching our loved ones suffer, they see it up close. So it seems like we all have the same message for the state. If we could just unite our voices, it would be better, but
Staffing's an issue too, a big issue. Like we only have three people for 75 residents, and I talked to her about that yesterday because that's a big deal.
yeah.
We're suffering over here as residents. I told her, I said, look, and she asked me about activities, and they don't do a whole lot with it, activity-wise. So I told her, I said, we've been tied up in these rooms for 9 friggin' months.
Yeah.
Going outside is a privilege right now. People need to take advantage of what's nice out here in Illinois.
yeah.
But facility, don't care. They just rather lay in bed and suffer, not say nothing. We talked about a lot of stuff, and it's just staffing is really bad. But I don't understand why some of these facilities like mine don't get temporary people in here.
It's expensive. It's expensive. The temporary people make a lot more money.
If they can afford, these places are cash cows. You got to remember, nursing homes make a lot of money. If they got 3 people in the room, and the state minimum they pay is $3,000 a person, that's $9,000 a room. That's a lot of money in a year.
Yeah.
And like my facility's been up in 30 years. Everything's been paid for. I mean, and they got a $7 billion company backing them. They're going to replace the roof for $100,000. They can afford to give the people raises and hire more people, to take care of things, but they're not doing it. And that was one of my biggest things yesterday was staffing, because everybody's expressed their concern to me over here. Because people talk to me, and I try and fight for the CNA nurses too. They're under a lot of pressure also. Just like me, I got so many things going on. My wheelchair's been in 4 months. I'm trying to get that straightened out. I got to get surgery Monday. I'm trying to get that straightened out. I got all kinds of stuff on my plate. I don't want to bitch about my problems. Yeah, I'm as everybody else.
All right, it looks like we have, who joined? Oh, wait, somebody's waiting. Yeah, a few new people just joined in. I don't know if they have anything they want to say. Leah, is it Leah? Nancy? I don't see them. Anybody else that joined in want to say something? No?
This is the first time I've come, so I don't know exactly what you guys talk about.
Well, if you want to, introduce yourself. And the meeting looks to be a little light today. There's some people that couldn't be on, but if you want to introduce yourself and where you're from and where your loved one is.
I'm in the Northwest Chicago suburbs, and My husband is in a nursing home pretty close by, and I've just been frustrated by my inability to visit with him.
Have you applied for compassionate care?
I don't know anything about it, so I would appreciate tips. I have a care plan meeting with the facility today, and so
Okay.
I was hoping to get something.
So my name's Carrie. I'm going to be dropping in and out of this meeting because my son has a doctor's appointment shortly. But anybody in here can give you my phone number. And as soon as I'm done with, you guys are done and I'm done, if you want, I can help call you and give you the information of what you need and how to hopefully get your compassionate care status. Because once Illinois went into effect, as far as we know, I think I was the first one to get it. And granted, I've been fighting with my son's facility since before the state gate, put everything in place. So they already knew that there was going to be no option but giving it to me. But so far, anybody I've given advice to, it seems to be working.
Great.
So actually, I can give you my number now. And if you'll just write it down,
Sure.
and if you'll send me a text when I'm
Okay.
done at the hospital, I will call you. So it's area code 217-520-3254.
Thank you. I've talked to the ombudsman, and they were going to talk to the facility, and I have not heard back.
Have you had any visits with your husband? I mean, are you able to be outside at all, or?
I had 2 outdoor visits and then 1 in the lobby visit, and then they shut down again.
Are they in an outbreak that they shut down again, or?
They had 1 case, and it's been more than 2 weeks, but they said per IDPH, we're not allowed to have people in, and I responded with the community rate is 8%, not 10, and they didn't respond to that at all.
Yeah.
Well, and one is not considered an outbreak. 2 is, I believe.
Yeah, they said
They've
due to
gone back and
rising
forth.
cases in the community.
Okay, yes. And that's the problem from all of this. Is A, they can use the community spread, and B, because nothing is written as a mandate or a actual law, in the end, they are still going to get to do what they want when they want, which is what we're fighting, is to get this done as a law or as a mandate. So we get rid of the wishy-washy from CMS, we get rid of the wishy-washy from the state, and then we have the facilities adding their own rules on top of it. So that's what that is the biggest problem every one of us has, and then we have people like Peggy and Tammy, whose loved ones are in assisted living. So the guidelines that you and I are looking at, their facilities don't even have to honor those.
Yeah, but
It is
even IDPH guidelines, I mean, you should be able to see your husband, especially with this beautiful weather. I mean, outdoor visits right now have nothing to do with the COVID status. So you should be able to see your husband outside.
I thought that too. I mean, I know that's what the guidelines say. I didn't think it. I know it. But my mom's facility has said with the outbreak, they won't do outside visits.
Well,
do anything. They won't do any visits. And I mean, the guidelines say different, but again, like Carrie said, they're guidelines. And if they say, they say they don't have because they have a staff member sit there with you, but they don't have the staff to do that with the outbreak going on. So
a lot of facilities allow outdoor visits because they're having outbreaks. Ours doesn't allow any visits.
No.
Okay, even though they can do outdoor, they're not allowing anything.
No.
Excuse me, Carrie, can you hear me?
I'm sorry. I can now. I'm sorry. I dropped off for a second. Somebody messaged me and I was trying to help them.
Okay,
Yes, what's
my
up?
name is Claudia Haynes. I'm new to this group. I was referred to by a friend of mine. My mom is in assisted living, and fortunately for me, they've been pretty good allowing the outdoor visits. They did lock us out, but they're pretty compassionate about things. I talked to them about this compassion caregiver, the essential caregiver too. So they said they're going to look into that for me. But I have a friend who cannot join this, and her mom is in a nursing home, and I don't have the time to tell you the stuff that she's gone through, because to me, it's incredible. All I can say is 2020, that kind of
Yes.
scenario. But
So
your
what I
phone
would tell
number
you-
is 217-520-3254?
Yes, and the only thing I ask
Okay.
is when you give it to somebody, tell them if they call me and I don't answer, please leave a message, because I will get back to them. But between helping everybody and the fact, like I
Right.
said, right now I'm at the doctor's with my son and all the rest, and I've been out of town because my stepdad passed away last Friday. I'm chasing
Oh,
my
I'm so
own.
sorry.
Thank you. I am chasing my own tail at the moment.
Right, I
So-
understand.
But
I
I do-
think I'm more concerned with advocating for her, because I see what she's been going through with a mom with Alzheimer's, and she's been trying to go, climb up the ladder at that nursing home, trying to get people to help, and it's just, these people are just not compassionate. They don't care. I told her, go to the social worker and see if you can get some help on there, but I will give her your number. And
Yes, and I am more
she
than willing
actually
to
was
try.
on this call, but dropped off a few minutes ago because of work commitment.
That's fine. I have no problem trying to help somebody anytime that I can. But I do need you to know I'm not a social worker. I'm nothing. I'm just
Right.
the person who wound up getting to be our voice, and I seem to have a lot of luck with it. But I am more than happy to help anybody I can. And after that, we just keep going because we have no other choice.
Right. Carrie, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for this, because you really have given a lot of people a lot of hope. So, whatever happens with this, know that you've made a difference in our lives, but just being able to reach out to you and have this group.
Well, thank you, because it is not just me. If it wasn't for Peggy and wasn't for Tammy and wasn't for Julie and Fran, we're in this together. But the more voices we have, the louder we can scream, the more effective we can get. And that's important, because it's going to take a lot to get this fixed.
Yeah.
Thank God we do have some really good legislator support. Ooh, what was that? I don't know where that just came
I
from.
don't know.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know.
Yes.
Just like a,
Calming music.
I know, I was like, this is like a divine intervention or something. I'm like,
Don't give up hope, it's saying. Don't give up hope.
that is so funny. Where is that coming from? No one
It's
knows.
someone that's not paying attention, obviously.
Uh-huh.
That is so funny. Okay. I have no idea. It looks like it's come. That is so strange. I have no idea. I mean, whose phone number is 817 and ends in 51157? All right, that was where it was coming from. I don't know whose phone number that is. I just muted it though, even though it was nice. It was nice music. Just so everyone knows, I just posted in the chat. If anyone hasn't seen, there's a woman, her name is Amber Kriska. She's from Week 25 News in Peoria. She's wanting pictures and or videos. She's doing a story. So if anybody is willing and wanting to email her pictures and or videos, and she needs these like today. So she's trying to get this story wrapped up. So if you email her, please make sure you give her your name and whoever the person, the video and or the picture is. So
Is that inside our group? Is that something that we can also?
Yeah, I posted this morning. I also posted it in the group, on Facebook. and I gave her information, but I also on this call just put it in the chat just in case somebody. But yeah, you could go to the Illinois group. I posted it this morning, and
And
she's wanting to do or finish. She's in the process of doing a story. So.
you guys don't even have to give her the name of the facility. You could give her the city or approximately where you live, where your loved one lives. Obviously, we're not throwing facilities under the bus if we don't have to. But I think it does help the reporters to at least have somewhat of a clue where we're from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that you all could bring me up to speed? I've been trying for almost 20 minutes to get in, and I'm sorry, technical difficulties. I didn't know how to do it. Is it
So
possible?
guys, that's Nancy. She did one of the interviews for the one that Fran did. Okay. And she has a disabled adult child in a facility that's about Lynn's age also,
Oh, okay.
that has a TBI from a accident. So mostly I think everyone's just kind of touching base and chit chatting today because I'm dropping in and out, so I'm sporadic here. Honestly, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be brainstorming more than anything because I don't see until we figure out if they're going back in on November 17th or not for veto session, nothing will get done at all before that because of the election and everything else.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, that is one thing we can talk about. Hopefully by next week, we should know, what is today's date? Sorry, guys, I'm lost.
The 5th.
5th.
November 5th.
Okay. So on November 17th, the House is supposed to go back into session for a veto session. Because of the COVID numbers, they're not sure if the governor's going to allow it or not. If they go, we really need to try to be at the Capitol to hold signs up and yell and scream and have them hear us. Charlie Myers will get us permits, get us whatever we need at that end. That's easy. So even if people could tentatively put it on your calendar.
Yeah, I have to post I'm going to do that today. I forgot to post it as an event, but I'll do that today. So,
Okay.
Yep.
And like I said, and it's tentative, but if we do it and you can go, please bring anybody. It doesn't matter if they're connected or not. We just need the more visualization, the more bodies we have there, the better.
What day is that, Carrie?
November 17th. Is when the House
And-
goes back into session. And then
yeah, let me see what date that, it's a Tuesday.
right. And then the
That's in
Senate goes,
Springfield?
yes, at the
Yeah.
Capitol.
Okay.
And the state and the senators are scheduled what, Peggy, November 30th?
Yeah, the 30th, the 1st, and the 2nd. So the
Right.
yeah.
So there's, and obviously it's going to be chilly and all the rest, and we're going to have to wait and see if they even go back into session yet. And none of my contacts have that answer yet. It all depends on Governor Pritzker. They're guessing that he's not going to allow it, and they're going to wind up doing it all by Zoom. But if they're not in session, I don't see the purpose of us going back. We did get media coverage the first time and all the rest.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it wasn't enough if they're not in session.
Right. I agree. But I'll still post it as an event.
Right.
I'll do that. So yeah.
So how many of you guys know of somebody newly elected in your area? Anybody?
Yeah, I think there's a few new people that were elected in DuPage County.
Okay, so that would be my other suggestion. Anybody that has a newly elected official in their area, and I haven't had even time to look at the results from where I'm at because I didn't get back till yesterday. Any contact we can make with those people before they start getting bombarded with other things,
Right. Good
they would
idea.
be a great ally to catch them cold. And get them to understand what we're all dealing with, especially with the holidays coming quicker than we imagined. Has anybody got a confirmation that they can actually take their loved one home for the holidays, or that they are doing it regardless?
Not without quarantining for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Same here. I could take my mom out, but she's got to quarantine for 2 weeks after. Yep.
I'm sure Lynn will have to do the same thing.
Yep.
which is just BS because every floor is on quarantine now anyway. So I don't know why my son would have to go to a different floor when his floor is already on quarantine. Every floor is on quarantine,
Well,
except for
and-
one.
Right. Well, or why can't we rapid test them twice and be, a few days apart? I mean, they rapid test.
Right.
I mean, they rapid tested me
All the
last
time.
night just to make sure I was safe to come to the doctor with him today.
Oh, that's a
know.
good idea.
Mhm.
I just wanted to interject that I did speak to the social worker yesterday. And I was told that per IDPH guidelines, I do not fit the definition of a compassionate caregiver. And I told her about our group, and I told her that on the calls that they do every Friday with facilities, that IDPH has reiterated again and again and again that they did not mean to restrict those guidelines. And she said they're stuck because they're afraid of getting a fine. So I told her about our group, and she asked me if I could reach out to you all and if we could reach out to IDPH as well as the ombudsman, which I did yesterday, to see if we could ask IDPH to rewrite those guidelines to allow the
Perfect.
compassionate caregiving.
Perfect. I have the largest email list of anybody.
Yeah.
all the way up to Dr. Ezike. I have them all. Shoot me an email, Nancy, to remind me. I'm
Okay.
going to tell anybody right now.
Okay.
It's going to take a few days. You could, I mean, it's up to you. Okay. It's going to take a few days for me to get my brain completely back on track, but I will get it done because that's a really good idea because I'm hearing that from multiple people that the facilities.
Well, this is the first time I've had administration actually ask me that and tell me,
Right.
go for it, reach out to IDPH, use your group and use the ombudsman to see if you can get IDPH to rewrite that. That's what she asked me.
Well, right, but the challenge for you is we can do that, which is great, but it's gonna be, it's gonna, that's not gonna help you right now, because
No.
you can ask them and that's gonna be, who knows when they'll respond or do anything, so.
So what I would suggest to everybody is two things, actually. Sure. And if I need to shut up and stop and get off my meeting, just tell me.
Okay.
First of all, that everybody should follow up with their ombudsmans on that one. So so we have to be careful, especially when the ombudsmans are on the meetings with us, which will probably be a little more limited. They were kind of given a got warning of, remember that if anything that we're doing is political, they're not allowed to touch it. Okay. So they can work with us on some things and not on others. And obviously some of them are being way more helpful and willing to give us any information we ask for. So we have to be very careful not to risk their jobs. Does that make sense?
When have we done anything political?
No.
I mean, I don't
Right.
think.
Well, what they're talking about, even especially if when the senators and congressmen and stuff are on, that they probably need to step off. Because at that point it become, yeah. So yes. So but it's not a huge issue. We just need to, be careful on that stuff just to make sure they don't get in trouble.
And can you lay your
And, but they will also, they know what their guidelines are and what they can and can't do now too.
All right.
So if they have to, they will step out.
Well, Carrie, could I just ask a quick question?
Uh-huh.
So where are we with this whole essential caregiver program? Because that was said to me yesterday by the, director of
Right.
social services, and because they're so afraid of getting fined, and because we keep hearing every Friday that IDPH is saying, oh, no, we didn't mean that. And we're going to roll out our essential caregiver program. Where are we with the whole situation? Because I missed the first 25 minutes.
Right. The whole problem of it is that they are telling us it's coming. It's coming. Nobody will give us a definite date. They told me that for, what would you say, Peggy, 7 weeks consecutive when it came to the last set of guidelines.
Mm.
Right. Well, what they
And
said last Friday on the call, yeah, again, no date. They say it's coming. But Nancy, if you want to get an idea of what it's going to look like, what they said is it's going to look very similar to the Minnesota guidelines. So if you
Mhm.
want
Come
to
back
remember
over
the
this way
Minnesota
with
guidelines,
just your eyes.
that's what they
Thank
said.
and
They're modeling it
Okay.
after.
and when they told us that originally, I went through Minnesota line by line,
Yep.
Uh-huh.
and I emailed them a list of this is what doesn't work.
Mhm.
Okay, so literally, and that was when we had our initial call with the state, and that was what, 5 weeks ago, Peggy? 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, at least. I mean,
Right. So I emailed them then the list of, okay, this is what's wrong with Minnesota's. So hopefully they've taken some of that into consideration, but I'm not holding my breath. And like I told them, I mean, I've been through every state's guidelines. I'm sitting on webinars from Pennsylvania and other states just to listen, to try to help.
That's awesome, Carrie. Thank you for that.
No, it's fine. We've got to, because in the end, we're going to have to come up with a national solution, not a state solution.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Agreed, 100%.
so, in the bigger scheme of it, that's really, obviously, unfortunately, at the moment, we have to start at the state level because that's all we can do.
Yeah.
But the ladies that I'm working with in California and Washington State are looking more at the national level.
Hmm.
So hopefully, and then there's a doctor by the name of Michael Wasserman, and he is a geriatric specialist who used to own nursing homes and doesn't anymore. And he's very vocal about what's going on right now.
Hmm.
And he's also very vocal on pushing the facilities to look at patient and family centered care, which is what I've been saying from day one. But it's
Hello.
that's because that's what's used in pediatrics. And this, if nothing else, has shown there's very little difference between pediatrics and geriatrics.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
all of them, no matter who they are, they need the family to get through it.
Right.
So he sent me his email address. I finally chased him down to Twitter or
Wow.
LinkedIn or one of those things that I'm faking my way through. And
Awesome.
he did say it might take a week or two, but he would get back to me, and hopefully we can find a way to work together. And he does have some connections here in St. Louis. So hopefully that would mean to motivate him to maybe come this way or connect me with other
Wow.
people.
Now, what is this doctor's name?
Michael Wasserman.
Wow.
If you
Very
watch
cool.
if anybody watched the video that was posted on YouTube last night about the nursing homes from California with the interviewing nurses and stuff, he was in that interview. Yeah,
I'm gonna grab Dr. Rowan.
that's fine. Then I will get right off.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. So, okay, guys, Lynn's ready for a shot in his eyes. I gotta go. But the two ladies that asked me, just reach out, send me a
Thank you
text
so much.
with your names and phone numbers, and I will, before the day's over, get back to you. I promise. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Carrie, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for everything that you
Yeah.
do. Thank you.
No,
All
I
right.
sent, for those of you who didn't see on the Facebook page, at my mom's facility, I had been having, we had been had never been up to the room, but we've met inside of a conference room. We've had outdoor visits. And then this past week I got there and they said that the state directed no indoor visits. Of course, it was too cold on Saturday. Sunday was, no, wait. I know Saturday was okay. It's just that, when it was just windy and so it was kind of chilly and to just stand there. So we didn't open the window. In the past, we'd open the window and at least we could, talk without a phone. So I stood outside and we called on the phone and I got some pictures of her. So I just sent those to Amber.
Oh, you did? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Anything anyone can send to her, and then I'm sure she'll, figure out what she wants, needs for her story. And then, yeah, I'm sure once she runs her story, it'll get posted so everybody can see, what she's what she's doing. So,
Good.
yeah,
We need
Yeah.
to make this, people need to see us and hear us.
yeah,
Yeah, I think so too. I think right now that's about the only thing we can really do is just keep the voice out there and make it as loud as we can to our
Mhm.
friends, to the media, to
yep,
the
I agree.
legislators, anybody.
Yep, I
So,
agree. I agree. Okay.
all right.
I
Well,
think we need something new to give to the media, and I guess our angle now is, we're not going to see our loved ones for the holidays.
Unless we let them quarantine for 2 weeks after we bring them home. So,
Yeah, but that's only some facilities. My mom and mother-in-law, they won't let them out. I mean,
Yeah.
physically,
Oh.
you can't get them out. So if there's no offer of quarantine, I think it's a matter of space. They don't have a place to quarantine them. But like you said, they're quarantined in their room. So, I mean, right now, they won't even let them out for an essential doctor appointment.
see, that's just wrong.
I agree, but but they have an outbreak and they say they just won't let anybody out of the facility unless you get dialysis, which I don't even know how they're doing that, but they've
Well,
drawn this arbitrary line in what's essential in.
it's just so wrong. Well, we had to fight for our son to be able to go to the doctor because they really fought us tooth and nail. And we told them he needed this for his quality of life. He
Right.
needs the shots for his spasticity, and he's declined. He needs physical and occupational therapy. And then they developed a point system. So we're trying to navigate around that so he doesn't go into quarantine. And yet, his whole floor, all the floors except for one are on quarantine because we have a really bad outbreak also.
Mhm.
And we think that's because they began 2 months ago taking in COVID positive patients as admissions because they were going bankrupt. So, and then after 10 days, they released those people to the floor as long as they're asymptomatic. So tell me, how is that not spreading the virus?
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But family members, we're the problem,
Right.
not the new admissions who
Right.
have the virus. It's the family members that are the problem.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is. It's wrong. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely horrible. I know.
Hold on, what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
family members are their problem.
Right. Why would the family member be the problem, Bruce? It's ridiculous.
It's the dang staff.
Well, and they're bringing in COVID positive patients because they were going bankrupt,
Yeah.
and they released them to the floor after 10 days if they're asymptomatic,
Yeah,
even
they
though
do.
they continue to test positive. It defies everything we've seen on the news. But I read the IDPH guidelines and it said it was okay. That's okay. We're not okay. That's okay.
But nursing homes get twice, I guess $17,000 a piece. 254 of them right now. If they keep their COVID rate low, infection rate low, they get a bonus. Okay. Also, there's $500 million set aside for nursing facilities that are losing money because of COVID, because their patient counts. Okay. And what their facilities are doing, they're bringing in patients with COVID, and then the employees are catching and spreading it around. What they
Correct.
don't change the levels, they're going from person to person, and they're just spreading it. So, and also when the staff goes home, if they don't, if they go to dinner or something like that without a mask, distance, they're going to bring it back in. They're asymptomatic, they don't know it, and bam, that's it. Right now, 40 patients over here sick. Okay, and it's going in the elderly area. Over here, we got 190 patients, residents over here. Last go around, everybody got sick. It went through here like wildfire. It's not that bad yet, but I expect it to get worse. We got 14 CNAs and nurses out sick right now, so we're very short staffed. And yeah, so for me, I'm kind of aggravated. It should have never been in here in the first place. Number one, because people aren't taking care of themselves at home, and it's not fair to us who are trapped like rats in the nursing home or
Right.
anybody. And I voiced that to the state lady yesterday. I said, it's not fair. We're trapped like rats. And the people go home and don't act right and bring it in the facility. That's not right. And I told her, I said, we're trapped down for 9 months because of this.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to get started on that.
Bruce, what do you need?
Well,
Yeah.
Bruce, could you explain the funding one more time? The phone kind of cut in and out the speech, and could you explain how that funding works one more time, please?
Yes, hold on one. I'm doing something right now. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so the funding, there's $500 million put away right now for this each state for facilities that are losing money because of patients that aren't, because they can't get as many patients in.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois has 254 nursing homes are getting $17,700 a piece right now for keeping their COVID rates low. If
Okay.
that's their incentive, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Their COVID rate low and their infection rate low, and they can get this $17,000 bonus. So they're making money, okay? And you got to remember, these facilities are cash cows. I mean, they make a lot of money. The facility's been open 30 years, okay? They're backed by a $7 billion company called ProMedica. Matter of fact, they just switched names to ProMedica Senior Care. They're backed by $7 billion. They can afford to sit idle because until this stuff at least seen through for a while. But they still want to get COVID patients in and stuff like that. It's never going to end. It's going to be a vicious cycle until they get a vaccine out or something. But if these facilities tell you that they're having issues with money, you need to remind them, look on the internet, you're getting there's 500 million. All you have to do is apply for it. You apply for a grant, they'll give you a grant.
Even if the infection rate is continuing?
The infection rate, where in the county?
No, in the nursing home.
Oh yeah, it's continuing.
So the grant is there even if the infection, even if they're bringing in positive COVIDs and even if that is still
Grant.
continuing?
The grant is for facilities that are losing money. The $17,000 is for facilities that keep their infection rate low. Okay, you always have to report how many people are infected. Okay, as I read on the internet last week, there's 254 facilities in Illinois that are going to get this $17,700 each. Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing I read the other day was all the cuts that CMS is going to do to these nursing facilities.
When they always come back, then he assists me.
Okay.
So you have to give me-
All the cuts they're going to give in 2021, these nursing facilities are going to be taking some heavy hits, and Medicaid and Medicare are going to cut their prices they can charge residents for services. So they're going to be taking a little bit of hit. So they're going to be scrambling for patients come 2021. So they're going to take anybody they can get, even if they got COVID. It doesn't matter. And
I didn't know there were CMS cuts coming down the line.
after they get into the file, they send a file out, but you can only get in if you're. So basically, I put on there I'm retired and I'm a consultant, and then I was able to get in, get all their cuts they're going to make. It's pretty substantial cuts, 10%, 30%. Most of them, a lot of them I read were in physical therapy. I mean, when you're doing ultrasound or something like that, you're only able to charge like $3 for that therapy. But they're cutting everything in physical therapy. And I didn't read through everything. There's a lot of cuts. But yeah, if any facility they're having problems financially, there's money out there for them. These facilities are not broke. Let me tell you that right now. So that first one, if anybody listened to that 60 Minutes review the other day, I was reading the tweet from Seema Verma, and she was going step by step through that 60 minutes thing. And she was like, the facility is a $3.62 billion. It has $3.62 billion backing them up, the one in Washington. And she was putting it like, they're coming to get me up, so I gotta run. So,
All right, well, we're getting close to 10 o'clock anyway. Thanks, Bruce.
okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye. See you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you in person.
All right. Well, does anyone else have anything? I think we'll wrap up for today.
Could I just kind of get to know everybody's names real quick? I'm so sorry I didn't get in here. Like I said, I had a ton of technical difficulty, but could everybody just kind of introduce themselves to me so I could put the name to the face?
I'll go first, even though it says Fran. I'm Peggy Munson. So
Hi, Peggy.
yeah, I'm signed on as Fran. She usually hosts the meeting and she couldn't be on today, but
It
yeah.
just says FS, so I didn't know. So you're Peggy.
Right.
Hi, Peggy.
Yeah,
Hi,
I'm-
Peggy.
yeah. So nice to meet you. So
You too.
yeah, I'm close to O'Hare Airport. I live in Elmhurst, Illinois. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I used to live right by there. I used to work there for 6 years. So,
Oh, okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And that's where my mom is. She's in an assisted living facility here
Oh,
in Elmhurst. So nice to meet you.
okay. You too. Thanks, Peggy.
My name is Jennifer Jensen. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and my parents are in assisted living in Long Grove, which is in Lake County. If you're
Yes.
not familiar, it's kind of near, you look like you're familiar, you know where Long
Yeah.
Grove? Okay.
Yeah.
They, since June, I think I've been there 12 times. So we've had a combination of them inside the conference room and me outside, but at least like the window, and then some weeks the screen was out.
Mm.
We've been actually outside, we've been in a conference room, and then about 3 weeks ago, I took them out for a drive. And then after the drive, they were not required to quarantine. So that was nice.
Oh, that's very good. So is it continuing like that there, or have they gone back into lockdown?
Well, my mom isn't as interested in the drive for the drive's sake. And we don't like, she would like to go actually someplace, but I don't really know where we can go. And, you know, me not being from the area, my dad is happy to just go for a drive. And this past weekend, he wasn't feeling well, so he stayed in the room. And so I got there this week and they said no indoor visits. So it was too cold to open the window. So she was inside with the window closed and I called her on the phone.
Mm.
So.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing.
I'm Tammy Holland, and I'm in Springfield, Illinois, and my mom and mother-in-law are both in a nursing home here in the same facility. My mother-in-law yesterday was diagnosed asymptomatically, fortunately, with COVID from testing. So they've got an outbreak. We've had a few outdoor visits, but the facility you have to make an appointment, of course. And they have 5 appointments in a day. In the facility as well, over 100 people. I don't know exactly how many. So as you can imagine, it's hard to, getting an appointment they don't really tell the residents' families. I don't even know how other people know. If you didn't go out there and see somebody having an outdoor visit or call them and ask, you don't even know they have it. And now that they've had an outbreak, they're not doing any visits unless you do a window visit. My mother-in-law is, though, at a room that doesn't have an outside window. So, you can't, you can't, my mom, we bought a GrandPad for, which is sort of an iPad for senior citizens, and it works fairly well to be able to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's very difficult to communicate with them. And now that we're in an outbreak and the community numbers are high, we're getting nowhere. I can't even get my mom to a doctor's appointment like she should be able to go.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
They're following the rules on the very strict end, and I think that's so frustrating that everybody's kind of got their own take on what the rule is, and they all say it's IDPH, and the person delivering that news to you is just somebody that doesn't make very much money, and they don't know except for what they're told, you know, and the
Right.
administrator, I can't get a conversation with the administrator.
Yeah.
And nobody under her really is privy to much knowledge. The communication has been my biggest frustration with the facility. I don't blame them at all for the IDPH's rules and the lack of clarity and all that. I think they find that as frustrating as we do. But I really do think they could do a lot more in just communicating with the families and letting us know. They change the rules every day and you don't know what they are until you get there, you know.
Right.
So it's very frustrating.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
I'm Jan, and I'm in Adams County. And my mom is in assisted living, and I think we're actually pretty lucky. Mom is able to go to dentist appointments and doctor appointments as
Good.
long as the van, their van takes her and an aide goes with her to make sure that, but I can keep her there and be with her. The aide is just there to make sure she keeps her mask on. And we do window visits. We're not allowed to open the window, but we use the cell phone on speaker, and so we're able to do fine. I am planning to take my mom out and bring her over here for Thanksgiving, and that's
Nice.
permissible. Yes, she has to quarantine for 2 weeks, but you know what? I'm going to take her out the next day and just keep resetting that 2 weeks until this goes away.
Wow, that's an interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and she, you know, other people in the facility are doing that, but mom has not wanted to go out yet. But with great grandchildren coming, I mean, that's a great
Yes,
motivator.
of
And
course.
so we'll bring her out, and then I'll be taking her out every couple of days and just keep resetting that 2 weeks. But it's very hard because I know that other people with family in the skilled nursing facility, you know, they're not able to take their parent out. It's very frustrating not being able to see them, especially the folks whose families are on the second floor. And so you can't even see them through the window.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So I'm
Okay.
grateful for everything that this group is doing. Mainly,
Me too.
I've just been spreading the word to my friends that there's work being done, and hopefully there is an answer. So
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
thanks to you all for all your efforts.
Yeah, thank you all. You all are great. Thanks so much for introducing yourselves. Did I miss anybody? Is there anybody that didn't?
I think that might be it. It looks like a lot of people dropped off already. So,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
thank you all.
Well, yeah, hopefully we'll see you again next week. So,
It just depends on if I have Thursdays off or not. So this just happened to be a Thursday I was off. So that worked out nicely. And
Oh,
you know, I
good.
wanted to touch base with you all about my conversation with the social worker yesterday. So
Yeah.
anyway, thanks
Well-
for everything that you're all doing.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody.
yeah,
Hopefully.
good luck, Tammy, today with Amber. I hope that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm supposed to Zoom with her at 2:00. So
Okay.
she evidently needed it today. So I don't
Yeah.
know if the appointment gets canceled, I wouldn't mind meeting with her, but I don't want to do anything on my
Right.
side to mess that up. So
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
just.
good. I hope that works out, and I guess hopefully she'll put out a good story for us. I know she's
Yeah.
been working on it for, you know, because I talked to her last Friday. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.
Thank you so
Right.
much. You too.
Enjoy the
Bye-bye.
weather. All right. Bye. Bye.